Welcome to Facebook for the Blind, your look at the downfall of Western civilization through the best memes we can find each week. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to that time of the week we like to celebrate Facebook for the Blind, a show for the visually and Facebook impaired. I am your never humble host, Eric Sizemore, joined by my beautiful co-host from South Canada, Quiet Michael.
Oofda. Snowplow. Hockey.
And coming in from the left coast, one of my best friends in the whole world, Brain Damage.
Yeah. Okay.
And and we're going to have some funny memes for you. But first, a patented, trademark, copyrighted, absolutely essential aspect of every single show. You know it. You love it. I'm talking about... Where is it? Holy crap. Oh,
We're number one.
all right, we'll just have to figure it out. All right. You know what I'm talking about. The depressing news.
Hell yeah.
It has been a great pleasure being with you for the 207th episode of Facebook for the Blind, a weekly meme cast here live on Zoom. Me and my cartoon buddies slinging funny memes at you for 5 years. And those aren't just any years. Those are COVID years, like dog years. They count for more. May, want to remind you, is Mental Health Awareness Month. And of course, every month is Mental Health Awareness Month with Facebook for the Blind. Keep coming back for your mental health awareness. And also want to mention that, reminder, April is Procrastination Awareness Month.
Right.
Shut the fuck up.
So good news here. It was really funny. Apparently, the Yam Tits in chief, he said that he really wanted to meet with the king of Norway, and the king of Norway heard about that, so he invited Obama. And they had a grand old time. And normally I hate the monarchy, but you know, if you're gonna make a good joke, then you got my respect. There's all kinds of backstabbing going on up in Washington, D.C. right now. This guy, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who has like a name that just reminds me of some kind of Marvel character who's in search of like a rainbow-colored infinity gauntlet of some kind. He is kind of pissed about the Boeing 747 aircraft, the gift from Qatar, that is a white elephant and a half. By the way, did you guys ever hear in any of the news reports that they put that jet on the market like 12 years ago? They have not been able to offload that on anybody. And whoever gets it, it's like a white elephant. You're going to have to feed it and nourish it and sweep it for bugs for like 10 years. You're going to have to take it apart and put it all back together again. It's just ridiculous. It's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. Anyway, at least one Republican turned against him. And speaking of people who are turning about, we have 3 of Trump's Supreme Court appointees voting to hand him another loss. In this particular court case, I know there's so many of them. They're like, but he's lost so many cases. Which of the hundreds are we talking about? This is the one that is the case of the Venezuelan immigrants deported to El Salvador under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. The Supreme Court has said no, but, you know, it doesn't, again, it just doesn't matter. I'm certain it doesn't matter. Somehow it won't matter. The former FBI Director James Comey was interviewed by the Secret Service. You're like, oh, that's fun. How did former FBI Director James Comey, no friend of the show, offend the Secret Service? He was walking on the beach and took a picture of some rocks. Does everyone know this story? Is everyone familiar that that's what we're talking about, is pictures of rocks on a beach? Brain, you look like you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Not at all.
I love it.
No clue.
So the rocks were arranged in the numbers 86 and 47. And they were just like, hey, that's cool. And then, like, people lost their minds because 86 is like, well, if you've ever worked in the restaurant business, it means either you're out of a dish, such and such 86th, or you have to kick a patron out, and that's getting 86th. That guy's 86th, or the dish is 86th. So either way, it means we're out of it, or take him out of here. And 47 was clearly a reference to the 47th president. But Comey saw this right-wing explosion of people who were getting all triggered, saying, "You're proposing to, unalive certain people. It would be illegal to say you should unalive." That's the YouTube workaround there. Anyway, so he took the post down. Pictures of rocks. That's where we're at right now. Meanwhile, our one of our chief security chiefs, Homeland Security Secretary, who you'll remember got her purse stolen in Washington, D.C., right under her bodyguards because she's in charge of security for the country. She was questioned in Congress and does not know what habeas corpus is. I don't know if you're familiar with the right of habeas corpus, but Senator Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire just said, "What is habeas corpus?" And Noam responded, "Habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has able to remove people from this country and suspend their right." And the senator was like, "No, incorrect." No. I mean, dude, I learned this as a child in grade school, I believe. My mother loved it. It was some of the only Latin that I've ever learned. It's show me the body. And it means you've got to have evidence and due process. The government has to show the body. And also, I mean, as a young child, that's where I learned you have to hide the body. They can never find the body. A lot of you guys had to sit through a lot of true crime podcasts to learn that. Not me, just definition of habeas corpus. But Noam didn't get it. Apparently Noam just doesn't have a real grasp on anything. Poster, meanwhile, in Canada reports people in Alberta are reporting that a separatist door-knocking campaign involving Republican operatives with southern accents from the United States who are refusing to show ID. So imagine that. People in Alberta are getting their doors knocked on and people are saying, "Have you heard the word of the United States today?" Wouldn't you like to be the 51st state? And people are like, "Get the Anyway, so that's funny to me. I don't know what the Canadians are going to do. Anti-QAnon Memes has reported this from Darth Dog Mom at Buchanol, who says, "Remember the episode in Handmaid's Tale where a brain-dead black handmaid is kept on life support long enough to give birth? This is actually happening in Atlanta, Georgia right now. Her name is Adriana Smith. She was only 9 weeks pregnant when the state kidnapped her body from the family." And I looked up the story. Absolutely true. She is held on life support, and the state of Georgia will not let her die until the baby can be, anyway. And the thing is, guess who pays for that? It's not the state of Georgia. And it's not the insurance company. It's the family. So it's even worse than A Handmaid's Tale. Didn't they have socialized medicine in Handmaid's Tale? Anyway, moving on. The big news down here, we all got alerts on our phones in east central Illinois for a dust storm approaching East Bloomington and ripping through the state all the way up to Chicago. It didn't touch Champaign. I didn't see anything about it, but apparently some people out on the highway to the west of here and to the east of here did catch some of it, and it's officially, the technical term is called a haboob. And I got to tell you what, East Central Illinoisans love that it was called a haboob. So that was my habooby joke. Look at this. You can see stuff flying around in the air. Yeah, huge dust wall all the way up to Chicago. An antebellum mansion in Louisiana burned down. And I got to tell you what, this was the only one that I could find, the only article that I could find that would load without ads and crap and paywalls and stuff. But this is also the tamest headline. And they showed the picture of this slave plantation mansion, which is another way to say antebellum, before it was burning. But do you give a shit? No, you want to see it on fire. Am I right? That's what we want to see. So here's your antebellum mansion on fire.
And that's what I call habeas corpus.
Habeas corpus. Yep. Show me the burn. Anyway, it was absolutely hilarious. But yeah, online people were like, "Here, here, more of that." Also found out that that slate of tornadoes, which is new, there hasn't been a whole like clusters of tornadoes, and I live in Tornado Alley. This is new. Clusters of tornadoes ripping through the country from Missouri and the St. Louis area throughout Kentucky. Those were happening and took out a Confederacy Museum in Kentucky. Oh. like a tree fell and it smashed everything, probably destroyed some artifacts, and it's too expensive to rebuild, what with tariffs and whatnot. So they don't know what's going to happen. So I don't know. It's almost like God's taken out some interesting targets lately. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Moving on, we always like to close out Facebook for the Blind's depressing news for the week with a heartwarming animal story, and I'm sure, like me, you saw this earliest known reptile footprints discovered by amateur fossil hunters in Victoria. That's right. Way down there in Australia, they found the prints of this little critter here. What's his name? He's called an amniote. And amniotes, they found him here in Victoria, which is outside of Melbourne in Australia. And they basically were like, yeah, these are definitely claws. And that means it got out of the water. It was not a swimmer. It was going on water. It left all these little claw marks. And that has now pushed the presence of land-dwelling animals back 40 million years. All thanks to these amateur Australians, one of them with a funny beard. So... yeah. That's kind of fun. You're like, well, Eric, that couldn't beat it. Yeah, I know, but I was watching John Oliver doing the news, and he mentioned just ever so briefly the existence of a pink fairy armadillo, and I'm like, excuse me, a what? Yeah, a pink fairy armadillo. I didn't know these existed. I didn't know these existed at all. Some of them are even pinker. Some of them are even fairier. Some of them are even more armadillo. Look at those claws. Look at those adorable little claws. He looks like a little shrimp. He looks like a sushi, like a vicious sushi. And that has been your adorable animal closer, closing out the news for Facebook for the Blind for May 20th, 2024. Happy birthday, Cher, 80 years old. Same as my mom. Same day and everything.
For our listeners, I would like them to know that the word Eric was looking for was sashimi. It looked like sashimi.
Pink fairy sashimi.
Because it has the meat on top.
Perfect. Domo arigato. And now, I assume you're going to do a standard, usual... Round one.
No, Eric, I'm going to give him my big, long round one. Here comes Lou at BLXCK Saint, who says urine having a built-in color spectrum to let you know your current hydration level is not only subtle, but some real intuitive game design. Tend to agree.
Interesting point. Interesting point. Also let you know you've eaten asparagus.
Randy at Randy Paint, he has this little conversation. Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly. Jellyfish, done. Muhammad Ali, sting like a bee. Jellyfish, I am nailing this. Eric, why don't you tell us what this meme says, sir?
We have a series of 4 guys. Looks a lot like the band Nickelback, but they are wearing some very hip-hugging jeans with the 5 buttons up the front, extremely form-fitting. And those bottoms and midriffs definitely look like they are a female form, but the faces are bearded and male, and it says Thickleback.
It's not even really a joke. I don't know why you picked that one for this week. But moving on, Midwest versus everybody at Midwestern_Ope.
Oh.
Says, will this go in the Guinness Book of World Records? And here we have what looks like an actual ad that says, congratulations to the new Pope, likely the first to save big money at Menards. Okay, can I do it after you finish doing this? 1 second. Oh, I love this. It says nobody, and it's just blank, and then it says Marjorie Taylor Greene. And it's a picture of Ron Perlman as the Beast from the Beauty and the Beast show from the like early 90s.
Funny.
Trash Can Paul, friend of the show, Trash Can Paul, and Drunk People Doing Things, friend of the show, Drunk People Doing Things. They
Nice.
say, people in ancient Rome ordering 5 beers. And it's just a guy wearing a very hungry caterpillar t-shirt that says become ungovernable, holding up a peace sign.
Because it's a V.
It's a Roman numeral. Yeah, it's fucking those guys.
Wow.
Stony at Stony_your says whoever invented toilet paper that turns red to show you're done needs a raise for real.
Whoa. What?
Oh, man.
He's
Just
bleeding.
don't think about it, Eric. Just
He's bleeding, Eric. That's what's happening. For our listeners, Stoney is wiping his ass until it bleeds. Moving on.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Stepbro.steve. He's our friend. We're not proud of it. He does have memes. We have some construction guys there, and one construction guy is saying to the other construction guys, he says, "You see those vehicles taking an alternate route over there? We need to start construction over there too." This was made in the Midwest. And my last meme for round 1 has a picture of O.J. Simpson wearing gloves in court. And it says that one motherfucker who used ChatGPT for every assignment but never gets caught. And that's all I have for round 1, kicking it over to brain damage.
All right, let's see if I can make this stupid shit funny. And I just took out a meme that showed Sarah Connor staring at you for using AI for everything. But let's move on anyways. Uncrustable Memes has a picture of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And it says, you get to see the same sun that the dinosaurs saw. You ever think about that? No. You only think about yourself. And then Random Shower Thoughts says, whoever created Lefty Lucy, Righty Tighty, absolutely slam dunk that one. Yes, I agree. I've been using that life hack since I was 5 years old, and we're not going to add 42 to that to discover our age. We're just going to go to Daily Teen Feed. It says, me having a zero balance in my account, viewing houses worth 10 million and being like, no, I don't like the kitchen. Then we got Galactic Geek Empire. It says Jedi mind tricks don't work on me. And here we have some avocado toast with some cream cheese, all shaped into a weird shape that looks like Jabba the Hutt. And it says, what's wrong, babe? You barely touched your Jabba toast.
Dude, that's taking me back to that Dr. Katz where he's talking about the manatee. He's just like, the manatee on like Sally Jesse Raphael. he's like, I am a sea cow. I am a vegetarian of the sea. It's like, yeah, you need to get a job.
Once again, I have no idea what you're talking about, Eric, but funny you had mentioned asparagus because I already had this one in there. Yeah. All You Can Eat says, I said everything was okie dokie artichokey. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, it's been extra horrendous asparagus. Let me just have a picture of asparagus. I like asparagus. I don't know why people always hating on asparagus. It makes your pee stink. So does fucking coffee. Asparagus making my pee stink just reminds me that my fat ass ate vegetables today. All right.
That's a good point.
Inspire Uplift just says, I am unable to quit as I am currently too legit.
Oh my God.
Brainy Facts and somebody named Shane Dale Beers at Shane Dale Ear says, a priest, a pastor, and a rabbit walk into a blood donation center. The nurse asks the rabbit, what's your blood type? The rabbit responds, I am probably a type O.
Oh.
That's a thinker. That's a
I
thinker.
get it. Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, because it's usually a rabbi that walks in with that All right. South Park posted a picture of, it looks like Kano from Mortal Kombat, but oh no, they photoshopped in what's this guy's name again? Was it Mr. Gary or something like that? Is the teacher that ends everything with
Okay, Mr. Yeah.
and they labeled no. Yeah, I had to do that. And then we got Mortal Kombat Arcades posted a picture of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater cover. Oh, but it's got Reptile, Sub-Zero, and Scorpion on there, and it's called Mortal Kombat's Pro Skater. Yeah, I'm nerding out.
Nice.
And then we got Captain Gaiju, and it's a picture of Everybody Loves Raymond show, but instead we have everybody with Mortal Kombat masks, and Raymond has on a Raiden hat, and it says Everybody Loves Raiden. Yeah, I butchered that one. It was way more funny when you just read it. And we're going to end this round with Puns, who says Bigfoot frequently gets confused for Sasquatch. Yeti never complains.
Oh my God.
And that's going to do it for me, Eric. See what
Killing
you got.
Me.
Round one.
Killing me.
Yeti never complains. You like that, don't
you? All right. Going into my ostensibly wholesome round one. Here we have fabulous lovers of weird events in the fiction sphere. A group you could join or not. I don't care. It says you're offered $3 billion, but you can never buy alcohol again. Can you do it? And Les Morris says with $3 billion, you can send someone else to buy it for you. Yeah, it's just like, this is not my first, three wishes genie rodeo, okay? I can figure this stuff out. The Potentially Inappropriate Memes group has a post from Nancy Geck-Whitting, who reposts Laura Lorson, who's reposting the New York Times. And Laura Lorson said, someone has been waiting since 8th grade to use this line. In the New York Times Critics' Pick, it says, Tragedy of Macbeth review, the Thane, insane, slays mainly in Dunazane. Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand play a toxic power couple in Joel Cohen's crackling adaptation of Shakespeare's Scottish play. That's about as wholesome as we get. Let's do some dick jokes. Friend of the show, an acquaintance, Trev Lewis, has this post from John Attridge. It says, we have a picture of bookcases in a library. And it says, why don't you read the books you already own before buying new books? Why don't you eat all the food in the house before going shopping? That's what you sound like. That's how crazy you sound right now. Moving on. Which Way to the Titty Skittles? And if you're not following Which Way to the Titty Skittles, you are missing out on some titty skittles. Let me tell you what. Has a post here that it's just... If you're not following Dr. Jordan B. Peterson or Jordan B. Peterson, don't. He's just an insane person. I don't know why people listen to him. But this post is captioned, Conservatives, quote, trans people are spreading mental illness via the woke mind virus. Also conservatives. And Dr. Jordan B. Peterson is commenting on a post from Sesame Street with a picture of a worm. A little worm muppet. It says, he may be small, but he holds a ginormous place in our hearts. Happy birthday, Slimy. We love you. Happy birthday, Slimy. And famous conservative Dr. Jordan B. Peterson says, go to hell.
What the fuck?
And I've read this so many times and I was like, does he think somebody's calling him Slimy? Or
They're not. They didn't at him or nothing. It's got
Nothing.
nothing to do with him.
it's just triggered by Muppets. I was like, I mean, it doesn't look like him. I'm sure it doesn't resemble any part of his anatomy at all. Except maybe the small part. All right, moving on. The Veterans Administration Secretary and the VA, although we have opinions about it, is connected to a lot of us. The new VA Secretary, Doug Collins, says, we at the Department of Veterans Affairs are proud to have opened 10 new healthcare facilities during the second Trump administration. And Amy McGrath at Amy McGrath, Kentucky, who I believe ran for Congress, says all of these were planned during the Biden administration. You have fired almost 2,000 workers so far with plans to cut 86,000 more. Get real, Doug.
Yeah, get fucked, Doug Collins.
Doug Collins.
Say that as a veteran who uses the VA.
Yeah. Doug Collins can eat a bag of dicks. But we all predicted this though.
And not good ones either.
No. Crusty, gamey ones.
Bad ones.
The ones they threw out. The ones that weren't good enough to make good stuff out of.
Past their sell-by date.
Sausage fixins. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Weird memes. Weird memes as a post from Alex Ken Cleany. It's a picture of one of those trucks that has all the logs loaded onto it, the logs that are all chained into place. And it's got a poster on the back of the truck that says Final Destination Bloodlines, only in theaters May 16th. And then the little How is my driving sign, and there's a QR code. And it's captioned, it's giving generational trauma. The new Final Destination marketing campaign is re-traumatizing everyone. Can you imagine getting behind this truck? Are we all seeing the same? They're like, how far does this promotion go? You know, if that guy's brake lights come on, I'm shitting the front seat. I'll just tell you right there. It's because I'm like, because I get references hard. Here we have a picture in wholesome memes. And is there a better round for a wholesome meme than wholesome memes? A beautiful pink flower. It's got like two nice little sort of oval sides to it and a little coney part in the middle, sort of poking. I don't know, guys, looks very nice. And Sleesberger, friend of the show, says this flower is called the clitoria and is my new favorite plant. And Son of Anthony says $5. That female scientist found this. $5. And Mommy Loves Cake says $10 that male scientists are still looking for it. Pim Feels, P-I-M Feels, has posted this one. I hate when I lose things at work, like my favorite pen or my fucking will to live. 25,000 shares. 25,000 shares, 7,500 comments. Amongst my people, 132,000 reactions. This was posted May 18th. This is 2 days ago. 100. Great society we got here, people. That's okay. And finally, closing out my wholesome round, we have a picture of that slave plantation mansion on fire, and it's captioned, Fire ASMR, 12 hours. Cozy burning plantation sounds for relaxing and study. Posted in Trans Fury. Yes! That actually was my post with the most wholesome. Wholesome round. Wrapping up round one, handing it back to you for an interstitial round two. Mike.
Here we go. Kicking off round two. The ostensibly second round. Here we have I don't know where this comes from, but it looks like some sort of a group called Do You Want This Bowl? Okay. And then reading you the activity in this group. Granny created group, Do You Want This Bowl? Granny added you. Granny changed this group's icon. Granny left. You are now an admin.
Oh, it's so real.
I do want to give her credit though, because the icon is a bowl. So
hey,
great job, Granny.
Pretty good.
Oh, Richard Harlan Smith. He's a person. He says, my daughter made this at school and it lives in my house now. And
what am I looking at?
This is fucking horrific, dude. It looks like a wasp nest or something, but that's been formed into a face
with teeth.
Yeah,
I think those are candles for eyes.
Somehow it looks like this should look like Cynthia, Angelica's little doll without the hair.
Yeah, it's awful. This thing is cursed. Sean at Dilettantry Pod, he's retweeting a photograph from Vagrant at Vagrant Travels. And Vagrant has shared a photograph of a bear. And Sean says this photograph gives the impression the bear hired the photographer. And like the bear is smiling
Oh yeah.
in front of like a beautiful fucking landscape.
Perfect.
He's got his little paws crossed in the front. I mean, really.
Sure.
Equine_dentist. He says, what an insane diet for a bird. And then you see he's retweeted something from Petco, and it says, cockatiel bird care sheet, how to care for a cockatiel. A well-balanced cockatiel diet consists of pregnant women, children under the age of 5, senior citizens, and people with weakened immune systems.
Wow.
I think I have like 2 more. This says Ireland sewage system not prepared for Taco Bell launch. Expert.
Oh!
And we see Ireland, but it's Luke Skywalker, but he's labeled Ireland, and he says, "I'm not afraid." And Yoda is labeled as the United States, and he says, "You will be." And maybe now I have 2 more. I don't know. I don't know where we are. Trash cans back, everybody. So 2 rounds in a row.
Wow.
This time we have a picture of what was this guy's name?
Ghost
Hellraiser?
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. Thank you. Ghost Rider. And his wheels are on fire. And it says, my mom told me I could eat an Oreo. I ate 2. And this is my last meme for round 2, the ostensibly second round. Cam at Large Motorcycle says, been getting back into weed again. It rocks to be scared. And then Cam replies to himself 40 minutes later, and he says, the guy is coming. And that's all I have for round 2. Kicking it back to you, Brain Damage.
That's hilarious that you ate two Oreos. My little mathematician at school today was like, Mr. Damage, my mom gave me 6 Oreos for lunch, but I still have to eat school lunch. I was like, good job. At least he ate half his chicken sandwich, all right? Anyways. I think this one was LOL Hawaii 2, and some guy named Patrick Williams says, selling a 9mm, 2 clips, and a box of shells for 150. Picture and comments. Check the comments, and we have a 9mm wrench.
Box
2
of shells.
paper clips and a box of seashells.
That's so silly.
150, brah. 150. Somebody named Aaliyah Janine, and we have a picture of on the top. How do you say 2 panel? Top panel is Captain America, and it says America, an American textbook. Bottom panel shows Homelander, and it says America and the rest of the world's textbooks.
Yeah.
The tollers says if you're under 5'5", your pronouns are I'm a little teapot. Fuck you, okay, tollers. Fuck you. I like tea and I like pot, but fuck you. Anyways, Gen X only posts. Just remember the generation that got you from this to that. And this shows the old school, dried up, brown weed with the sticks and the stems. And that.
Brickweed.
Ditchweed. Ditchweed.
Whatever you called it in your generation, and the that shows you the good green, buddy, sticky, icky. And yes, Generation X, we did that. We
call that shit town.
Or at least we participated in it. Millennial memes put, I just feel like this bears repeating. And somebody named Existential Memes wrote, the kids who would unplug your game controller to sabotage you if they started losing, then mock you mercilessly as if they actually won, are now in charge of our whole fucking country.
Yeah. Yep.
And then friend of the show, Mean Dave on this one. Mean Dave posts a picture, and it just shows Canada labeled as red, and it is labeled as worried neighbor. And U.S. is labeled in gray, and it is labeled as the crack house. The commander in tweet posted movie night, and it is a picture of when Trump got quote unquote skim shot, and then he lifted his arm in the air with the flag. But instead of Trump, it is Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader, and the stormtrooper is holding him down like those two Secret Service agents was, and the flag instead of an American flag is the Republic flag or the Empire, excuse me, whatever. What are those red guys in the back labeled? I forget.
Fucking
They
bad
got
guys. It changes based on the movie.
Give a shit about nature has a picture of two orcas swimming in the ocean, and it says, "I took one of those I side with political tests, and it said I align politically with those orcas that keep sinking yachts." Sounds about right. And Tonio Skits says, when you come for peace, but ready for the other option too. And here we see people at a protest, but one of these guys has made his sign, and his stick that he's holding it with, the sign is taped to, is a baseball bat, a Louisville Slugger. Just in case, I will take this sign right upside your motherfucking head.
Yeah. Actually, could you send me that one? Just as more.
Yes, feels like how I lived my whole life.
Spicy Meme Dumpster has the "Don't Tread on Me" snake with a red hat on it, but it's licking a Timberland boot, and it says, "Oh my God, your tread tastes so great."
I drive a big ass GMC Sierra now with like a brush guard on the front of it, and I want to get one of those like "Tread on me, please" Gadsden effects to put on the back just to fuck with everybody.
This one is Ami Mimi Troche or some shit like that. I don't know how to fucking pronounce shit. Also reposting Oops All OC Memes Premium has the 2-panel, and it shows the x-ray of the small brain, and it says 100 men fight one gorilla. And on the second panel, it's the brain exploding. It says 340 million people fight 10 billionaires. Yep, and then here we have somebody named Asteria Lynn or something like that. And in their coffee cup, it just says they think they're brave enough to fight a gorilla, but in reality, they're not even brave enough to tell a friend to stop making women uncomfortable. That is very, very true. Snaps. And then the Mandalorian Star Wars Unification has a picture of Darth Maul, and it says "Sale at the Mall," and the mall is spelled M-U-M-A-U-L, just like Darth Maul. Nice. But then at the bottom it says everything's half off. Get it? Because they cut him in half. And I think this one is the last one for me for this round. Is Unappreciated Puns has a cartoon picture of a bear driving a taxi. The guy in the back says, "More, please," and the bear's eyes bubble up. And it says it was a misunderstanding. Simple misunderstanding, but one with harsh consequences. That bear thought it was the Darth Maul spelling. Handing it off to you, Eric.
It's 2 mall puns at once. That's pretty good. Heavy duty. Just double checking in what's happening in the chat. Well, Sammy agreed with something and said, yes! I don't know what, though. I lost track. Sorry. I'll do better next time. All right, heading into the irradiated round, or I don't remember what we call this round. Whatever this round is, we do that. This one I thought was kind of wholesome, but I'm going to put it in here anyway. Friend of the show, Bob Stein. You guys have seen Bob occasionally on some Zoom shows. Says, if you're having a bad day, remember that somebody ordered this door with a peephole. And zooming out here, let's take a look. This door has a peephole and 4 windows. It's a totally transparent door with a peephole. That's be a fun one to use, right?
Peephole kind of just sounds like people.
Oh, well, shut your peephole. Moving on. Here we have the very famous picture of the, I can't remember the Japanese word, but it's the wave, the woodblock wave. from the 1600s, if I remember, or 1800s, if I remember right. Except that this one has Cookie Monster's eyes on top of it, and he has a bunch of cookies inside the wave. And No to Cuddles has reposted to Fenkin Crossing to give me internet. Says, C is for cookie, but C is spelled S-E-A. So that joke was specifically for Brain. C is for cookie, and the response is, please leave. For the show, Eric Alper posted that.
Not for me.
Here we have a note that has been written on some pretty puffy toilet paper here. It looks like two splices of it, because I can still see the perforation at the top. And it says in blue pen, I have chosen this type of paper for my resignation as a symbol of how this company has treated me. I quit. All caps. And Griffin says, and you know that paper is from their home. No company shelling out for the 3-ply.
You know what? Let me tell you something. I just, as someone who is in leadership, I want to say this employee was probably fucking trash, dude. Like,
Look
they
at
were
that
probably
handwriting.
so happy this piece of shit quit.
That I tell you what, as a guy who works in a college, that handwriting is very neat. Those lines are well formed. This person.
You ever tried to write on toilet paper? You have to be careful. I don't care who you are.
I'm extremely impressed. I'm extremely impressed with this. Brought their own, triple ply as well. Moving on, here we have a picture of an Exxon sign with the gas prices, regular plus supreme. And the sign below it says, free gas any day Trump doesn't say something stupid. And like, oh man, kind of feels like a deal till you think about it. Moving on, you remember I told you about that Confederate Museum? Here's the Confederate Museum. It is just everything that you thought. It's a warehouse with an aluminum roof and 6 fluorescent tubes, some really rinky-dink cases with a bunch of stars and bars all over the place. And one old guy and a rascal. I mean, you really can't. Could you have a Confederate Museum without one old guy in a rascal? And you're like, Eric, why would you show us this? Because it makes it more fun to see it crunched under this tree. And Dixie Forever is like, breaking sad news. I don't know if they're being sarcastic or not. I don't really care. Much like the plantation burning, it just made me feel satisfied. It just felt good. It felt good. So yeah, they're not coming back. Shane Moore reposted this little conversation from Andrew Tate. If you don't know Andrew Tate, good. Oh, God, are you... Whew, that's some JOMO right there. You should take some joy in missing out on who this piece of crap is. He and his brother. It might be genetically that they are crappy. I mean, I don't know how big the family is or how crappy they are, but, indications are pretty terrible pieces of shit. Andrew Tate at Cobra Tate has posted, you're obsessed. Oh, he spelled your without an apostrophe. You piece. You're obsessed with GTA 6 because you have 0 cars, women, yachts, money, or action in your real life. He posted this wait, that can't be right. Oh, I don't know. He posted it a little while ago. It doesn't matter. An elite man posts back, we enjoy GTA because we're honest people living honest lives, not sex trafficking minors in Romania. Which is what Tate did. Moving on. Friend of the show, Bob Stein, has this picture of a man, looks like he's grasping his chest on the ground, maybe having a heart attack. A woman is on her knees trying to help. She's got a hand on his shoulder. And it says, men will be, husband, my heart is paining. Call the doctor immediately, fast. Wife, okay, dear, stay calm. Tell me your mobile password. Husband, wait, no need. I'm feeling better now. Thought that was funnier in my head.
I laughed really hard at that, but I was muted.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't mute. I have some of these are just for you. And closing it out, reading is fundamental. Marcus Pittman has posted this response to John Fugelsang, friend of the show. It says, Fugelsang likes to pretend he believes in Jesus, but he ignores Christ's words in the Old Testament. John Fugelsang replies, actually, Christ speaks 0 words in the... just go ahead. Carry on. No notes.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. This is the level of... Woo! Wrapping up my interstitial round. The ostensibly interstitial round 2. Handing it back to you, Quiet Michael, for the not the last, but the almost last round. Wish there was a word for that.
Yeah. Well, we all want things, but kicking off round 3, the penultimate round, which means penultimate means my favorite pen. I don't know why we say that, but here we have, it says me yelling representative on the automated customer service call. And it's a picture of Brock Lesnar just absolutely fucking losing his shit. Adam at adamurb.bluesky.social. Anyway, it says opening up a can of worms. Me in a bar fight thinking I had a can of whoop ass. Oh no. Avian Art at Avian Sauls says, gonna start repeating jokes when they don't land. Motherfucker, you gonna laugh today. And then he replies to himself, gonna start repeating jokes when they don't land. Motherfucker, you gonna laugh today.
I didn't know you could do a callback like that. That's good.
0 likes, by the way. Here we have 2 roads. It's a fork in the road, if you will. A crossroads. A decision needs to be made here. And on the left, we have it's a really dark, ominous path, and it says stay home and feel guilty about it. And on the right, we have just the exact same image, but flipped, and it says go out and feel like being at home. I don't even know what to make of this. But Scapula Tools at Ugu Boggins says, I saw a man vape on his baby at the Renaissance Fair last week.
What?
And then there's a picture of a man
vaping on his baby.
Yeah, he's just like blowing vape down onto a stroller with his baby in it.
Weird. Weird.
Yeah. Well.
Weird.
Trash can's back. Round 3. 3 rounds in a row. Hat trick. Oh, hat trick trash can Paul. That's what they call him.
Wow.
He's got a picture. Eric, this isn't a Chevy something. Let me see if I can zoom in.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's the thing they model all the villains' trucks on in like the cartoons.
It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's just this big, fat, water buffalo looking bus thing. It literally looks like Batman the Animated Series, like, you know, henchman vehicle, but in real life. And it says, this used to fit like 15 goons in it. But now we can't use that word anymore. That word has taken on a new meaning. All right. This is a picture of a dog that looks pretty happy, and he looks like he's wearing a hat made out of a soccer ball. And it says, Zion has ripped our nephew's ball to shreds and is now wearing it like he's in Silence of the fucking Lambs. And this is my last meme for round 3, the penultimate round. It starts with Pukichu, who says, hey, do any of my followers know how to render really good? And Coalpire says, I can render my enemies immobile. Pukichu says, I meant 3D computer renders, but I'll keep you in mind for future reference. And that's all I have for round 3, the penultimate round, leaving only my post with the most, kicking it back to Brain.
All right. This whole time I thought penultimate meant who's your favorite lyricist? It's Razkaz, all right? It's Razkaz. All right. Somebody named Devo Media, and there's an AI picture of a bunch of Floyd Mayweathers and 150 Cent laughing, and it says 100 Floyd Mayweathers versus 1 book.
Oh, damn.
Floyd looks confused and pissed. I thought I'd remove this, goddammit. being classically liberal, I think it said. Holy shit, that one confused my fucking ADHD and my dyslexia. Oh my god! All right, so it's a cartoon picture of Sarah Connor smoking a cigarette, and it says Sarah Connor, watching you use AI for everything. That was a spoiler. I already said this one earlier. Fuck, life humor. Has some guy just sitting there wondering with his bald head and his beard, with his fence, and he's looking, and it says, when flies fly, or when a fly flies through a fart, do you think they feel the same way we do when we drive past a barbecue place? I wonder. That's a shit joke, Eric.
Yep.
My homie Julian Thomas Lacrosse tweeted this one yesterday, or Facebooked it or something, I don't know. Posted, in some ways, a condom is the most profitable savings account. And he would know, he's an accountant.
Smart man.
Doom posted the meme of the 2-panel with the lady looking very smiley, but then she zooms in her eyes, saying what? And it just says, you don't have a skeleton inside you. You are a brain. You are inside of a skeleton. You're piloting a bone mech that's using meat armor. And she's just like, what? And accurate though, accurate. Here we have the boys super post, and it says DCU and Elseworlds posting. In one panel we have Superman being escorted out by some ninja-looking guy in an all-black armor with goggles on and some kind of, he's like, you can tell he's all kinds of high-tech armor and CIA stuff, and it says the boys fan, and here we have Frenchie going, that's fucking Black Noir.
Does look like Black Noir.
Sure as fuck does. A dollar store version. Anyways, my lovely wife sent this one to me to remind me that in 2021 she posted this, and it says, how to cook, crack, and clean a crab. Step 1, use commas. Because you want to say cook, crack, and clean a crab, not cook, crack, and clean a crab. Into the chaos posted, choose the right path, and it says, it's up to you to break generational trauma. And step 1, we have an old school stamp, and it's grandpa with a cane, and it says, take it to AutoZone. And then we have the second generation sitting down, knitting, take it to AutoZone. And then it has the third generation kneeling down and telling a young boy, go ahead and throw that in the ocean. And we see that they are talking about a car battery. It's up to you to break generational trauma.
This seems like something Trash Can would post.
I was hoping TD would be here for this.
He does love throwing car batteries in the ocean, man.
Yeah. It's his favorite thing.
And I'm sure he hates taking car batteries to AutoZone because as much as you process, you think that's going to be easy. Oh, God, they make it a hassle. Anyways, the language nerds posted a 6-panel. First one has a picture of ice. It just says ice. An icicle says icicle. Then we have Pop with a can of soda. Popsicle with a popsicle. And then there's a guy taking a test. And then all of a sudden he looks at you mad. He says, no! No.
That's a testicle joke.
Right. And then this one is the last one for me. I want this shirt. It's a woman model wearing a shirt that says, it's a beginning to look a lot like fuck this. Handing it off to you,
That's me. Coming back to Eric. Oh, I love it. I love it. Good stuff. So many fun things. All right, kicking off my penultimate round, named after Michael's favorite pen. Here, I just wanted to remind you guys, this is great. This was the inside of the Blind Pig, and I happened to be there, and it was George's birthday. Chels and George had just been together for, I think, months. I don't even know if they'd been together for a whole year.
That's not true. They got together.
Is that earlier?
Yeah, they got together in 2017. So they would have been together like a year by
about a year. Mm-hmm. Crazy thing is that Chelsea rounds me up outside, says, I need some help getting this thing lit. And then we're standing in that little alcove trying to figure out how to get in that back doorway as George gets up on stage to surprise him. And I'm like, crap, I got to go inside. So we need somebody outside. Grant walks up. I go, Grant, can you help shield this and light these candles? He goes, oh, absolutely. I thought they knew each other. They didn't. I duck back inside. I come in. I open the door. Chelsea comes in with a lit candle thing. The whole bar erupts and singing happy birthday. Crazy times. And
love Grant for that.
I know, dude. It was like the craziest thing.
He was ready. Absolutely.
I know. And like I've known Grant forever. Grant like shows up in my life all of like Forrest Gump. Do you know what I mean? I went to Sandy and Tom's Super Bowl party. Grant's there. I'm like, of course Grant's here. Anyway, good times. Taking it back there. Here we got a post from a woman's worth at Girly by Nature who says, this girl called me an obituary. And Daikonse Knowles, spelled like Daikonse at Dunkin' Go Nuts, says, girl called me an obituary, says, that means you dead ass lying. and the response is that picture of the cold staring balding guy who says, heartbreaking, the worst person you know made a great point. So, it was a whole journey. Here, Cat Dad 1879 says, I just saw a woman wearing a shirt that says, I rode faces I should have pissed on, and I need someone to talk me down before I ask her to marry me. It might be a retweet.
I know. I was like, I wonder how she means that.
I know exactly how she means it. All right, moving on. Best and worst of Twitter, too. Hey, this reminds me. You tell me you run, don't you? You're a runner, Michael.
Me?
Yeah.
No, sir. I don't have the needs for running. My adrenaline response is fight or fight. I don't have a flight option. I row on my rower.
That's it. You're a rower.
Like a rich boy.
You're a rower. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Zero impact. Yeah, I left my knees in Fort Hood, man.
Oh, and you got the record player in there so you can listen to the albums. You don't have to wear headphones. You can just play the albums. Okay.
Yeah, also, I don't run the risk of seeing people.
Right.
Very important part of my life. Yeah.
I understand how this math checks out for you, sir. I get it. Okay, well, I was trying to tie in headphones, and that failed completely. That's all right, though. Best and worst of Twitter has this post from David.Dak75. Hashtag running says, if you run with headphones, you don't love running. You love distractions. Running is about being in your own head, not escaping it. Lose the headphones. Find your flow. Hashtag running. And the response from Man versus Baby says, if you eat food with cutlery, you don't love food. You love knives and forks and shit. Stuff that slop in your face with your bare hands, you fucking amateur. Lose the spoon. Find your flow. Oh, moving on. I don't know if you saw this, but old Yam Tits in Chief, he talked smack about Taylor Swift. He talked about Bruce Springsteen. And say what you like about either of those American performers, but he was trying to say that Taylor was not hot anymore. And he was like, Taylor just had the biggest grossing musical tour in world history. What are you talking about? And Bruce Springsteen. Anyway, this one, we got a picture of Taylor Swift says, still hot. Bruce Springsteen, still the boss. And then a picture of old Yam Tits says, still a piece of shit. So, no,
I mean, by his standards, though, she is over 21.
Well, that's an interesting point. Moving on. Here we have a picture of a Saudi sheikh of some kind waving a gold airplane on the end of a gold chain.
$400 million jet.
Like he's doing hypnosis with a watch, like an old-timey magician. And we see old Yam Tits there with the spirals in his eyes and the classical cartoon signature of man hypnotized. And where I saw this, it was captioned, the sheikh going, I didn't even start yet. Responses were amazing. U.S. Democratic Socialist posted this one. Says, real quick, what is the tariff on a $400 million Qatari jet? It's pretty snappy. Here we have a post from James Sonderman. I guess this is one of those like New Yorker cartoons. We have a king and we have some royals on a balcony, and there's a man bowing before the king with a trunk, and the king is waving his hand over at the other royals, and he says, actually, place the spoils at the feet of my adult children. I'm trying to look less corrupt.
Yeah.
I thought was Hey, do you know all the Trump children are in the Middle East over there, just getting gold boxes laid at their feet? Is the way. I mean, reporting varies, but I saw some of that. The big joke this week. Wow, I got a lot of Bob in this one. This is like Bob's 4th or 5th appearance here. But we just have some socks on the floor. Looks like maybe a random sighting of some random socks. I mean, they kind of look like they're shaped like 8647. Cindy has posted, my laundry has something to say. 8647. Very popular meme ever since Comey got questioned for finding those rocks in that shape. AI produced Van Gogh picture of a fiery sky with the stars and whatnot. It looks like maybe somebody holding a Molotov or something. I'm not really sure, but big happy crowd in the Van Gogh painting style and 8647 written across the sky. A lot of that this week. A lot of it. We see a picture here of old Yam Tits with his hand, and apparently it's been tattooed with the numbers 8647.
That's impossible to fake.
They can't fake that.
You cannot Photoshop that.
No, Photoshop won't let you do it. Let you do it. Moving on, we have the Sesame Street characters, Elmo, Big Bird, Bert, and Ernie, holding up 8647 and says, brought to you by the numbers 8647 and the letters F and U. From friend of the show and sort of quasi-uncle of the show, Stephen Abram, going to be doing a guest spot, actually. Bob Stein in the show, I don't know, an 86th time. With this, apparently it looks like it says, found this really cool manure formation while I was cleaning out a horse paddock today. It does look like 8647.
That's nature. I mean, you know.
Horses can count. They can count to 47.
It just comes out. I used to be a ranch manager. It comes out of them that way.
Yeah, that's true. I once had a goat that could poop in Morse code. I never bothered to see what he had to say. I thought it was interesting because people were trying to
the setup of that joke. I'm sorry.
People are trying to get around it because there's folks that are getting in trouble for posting these numbers, like former FBI director Comey, who had the Secret Service show up. So here we have a beautiful teal 92 -6, and then a beautiful fuchsia 54 -7. And Mama Bears just says it's basic math. So yeah. 8647. This one started popping up, and I thought it was interesting. People felt safe with this arrangement of shells on the beach because it says 2547. I got a lot of people commenting 2547, which might be a reference to the 25th Amendment. I thought that was very generous of them to think there could ever be a 25th. I mean, that's hilarious to me. Like the optimism of the American people. It's like gay men. It's just so you're saying there's a chance. Moving on, this whole procession of 8647 resulted in this montage of people in the Trump administration. We have the spokeswoman, Karen Levitt, and she's got 6947 tattooed on her hand. We have our director of intelligence, and she's got 6947 tattooed on her neck. Stephen Miller, 6947 tattooed on his head, looking wistfully. Melania has 8647, though. That checks out. Marjorie Taylor Greene smiling wistfully with 6947 tattooed on her forehead. And also J.D. Vance looking very wistful with the 6947. So, yeah, a lot of 6947s. Good response. Thought it wrapped up things well. And that has wrapped up my penultimate round, leaving only my post with the most. Handing it back to you, Michael. What you got, sir?
All right. Here comes my post with the most. It's Caleb at Caleb Says Things. Caleb Huron, who says, I can't believe the way I let elementary school teachers talk to me. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Sweetheart, I'm in the middle of a conversation.
Nice.
All right.
Very cool.
What you got this week, Brain?
My bad. I did something I shouldn't have did. This post with the most is really the most. And here we have Never Ending 80s in Australia. And it says, before it was called Thriller, MJ almost went in a different direction with the album. And here we have him with egg barbecue grill. It says Michael Jackson Griller. And then here we have him sitting on ice chiller. With a feathered pen and some paper, Quiller. We have a glass of wine and some some red Merlot spilled on his jacket. He's the spiller. Which leads him to refilling his jug with some boxed wine, refiller. And if you paid attention, this could be a sex joke, but he has an electric drill, and it's the driller. That's my post with the most for this week. Passing it off to you, Eric.
Oh my God, that's lovely. And I am a fan of the Makita drill. That teal Makita drill, many times, friend on the site. This is my post, just showing a bunch of coins. Got some quarters, got some pennies, got some dimes. It's about 80, it's about, let's see here, 46 and 87. Just, 46 and 87 cents with 5,240 views. I just said I'm starting a coin collection. Who knew? People really into coins. Numismatics. That was my post with the most. Wrapping up an episode of Facebook for the Blind, episode number 207, wrapping up May 20th, 2025. To all the 10,000 of you out there listening and watching that most of you we don't even know, we love you. Thank you. Mwah.
Love you, George.
Woo, love you, Beverly.
Thanks for listening to an episode of Facebook for the Blind. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.